Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, HollywoodShono here, about to give you another Marvel Strike Force video. In this video, I'm going to give you guys the list of top 10 farmable heroes that you can actually pick up. Obviously, the list excludes Black Widow and also Black Panther and Iron Man, since the characters are not farmable, and Nick Fury and Rocket Raccoon are either not in the game or super difficult to get. So, where are we starting with this? We're going to start off with the first character on the list, and that would be the lovely Hawkeye, which I'm missing one fragment from. Now, I obviously don't have Hawkeye, but I've heard a lot of great things about him. His Deadeye ability at rank, well, when you get unlocked, is 90% unavoidable damage, and you gain 5% crit chance and deal piercing with his attack. Basically, piercing ignores all armor, which is really good. The concussion arrow can attack the primary and adjacent targets, kind of like an area of effect, and it also clears a positive effect, and it reduces the speed bar, which is a pretty unique and useful ability. The AIRBURST is unavoidable damage and applies blind, and this is for all enemies. So you apply the blind on the primary target, kind of like you would stun with Thor, and then you apply blind to additional targets. So the additional targets being just anyone that it chooses, kind of at random. Blind is really powerful, especially against offensive characters, because when attacks miss, that's 0 damage that you take. Next up on the list is probably one of the best tanks, if not the best tank overall in the game, and that is Captain America. So I finally unlocked his shards at 6-9 Heroes Assemble, so I have 5 fragments out of 100. I will be farming this daily, and more than likely I'll probably be spending 50 to 150 power cores a day until I actually get Captain America, which I'm really excited to get. You can also get him out of 5-9 Nexus and 3-6 Mystic when it becomes available, but getting there is actually really hard. So why is Captain America good? Because the Shield Bash attacks primary target for damage, and as you upgrade it, it also removes positive effects. And Inspire gives taunt and defense up. It also grants ability energy, and it does even more stuff once you get it upgraded. And the shield throw attacks primary target, clearing a positive effect. It can also chain to additional targets for more damage, and assemble is block chance. So you get that when you hit gear tier 4. So you basically start blocking attacks once you get there, and you can upgrade it to block more. Blocking will reduce how much damage you take, and it's a really powerful ability. Next up on the list is a character I just unlocked a couple days ago, and I'm actually working on Quake, which is why I don't have more fragments, is Drax. Drax is probably one of the tankiest characters in the game. While there are uses for using Luke Cage, in my opinion, because his controllable defense and taunts are a little bit easier to use, Drax is super slow, as you can see by the speed at 66. And he does have some abilities, like the Knife Slash is his basic attack that deals damage and drain. Drain is a decent ability. Fast Reflexes gives taunt and counter and defense up. And if you can get the ability energy down, that does make the ability a lot better. Obviously, if you can get the taunt and defense up to last for 2 turns, I think that would make it even better. Because having a taunt protecting your weaker damage dealing enemies is premium. And good fighting is basically kind of like the chain ability like Wolverine has, where you just attack an enemy and then you can attack adjacent enemies. And up on the damage 50% just means more that you drain. And Destroyer, you spawn on taunt, and it also increases drain. Now, I don't have the tier 3 ability to actually upgrade it, but that's really good. Next on the list is somebody that you farm 5 fragments for a daily, but you can also get him in premium orbs, which is why mine has 15 out of 80 and 3 stars. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I don't think Wolverine is that good of a arena/blitz character, because any smart person is not going to go after Wolverine, and I think that Wolverine's damage is okay. Yes, his Primal Berserker does hit really hard and is really strong, but you have to get to turn 5 to even see that. And by then, some of your teammates might be eliminated. And healing factor, basically, you have a chance to revive and regenerate health, which is another reason you want to save Wolverine for last. So Slice and Dice is kind of his ability that you can hit all the enemies for piercing damage. Upgrading this is really good, but the damage is not that significant compared to Yondu's, who's insane. The Adamantium Claws, however, does do decent damage, but in my opinion, I think there are characters that actually do a little bit more damage overall. Next up on my list is somebody I haven't really developed, but I heard really good things about, is Night Nurse. Night Nurse you can get from Heroes Assemble 5.9 and Villains United 3.9, whereas a character like Drax you can only get from Arena Shards. So her first ability is basically just basic damage and a chance to apply slow for a turn. Now obviously applying slow for 2 turns on a damage dealer is really good. So Night Nurse is useful in the utility role, and First Aid heals the lowest ally for health plus a percentage of max health. So then when you upgrade it to level 3, you're going to heal for 2,500 plus 15% of the character's max health, and I imagine the sky's the limit. I'm sure that's going to affect multiple targets at higher levels. Urgent Care heals all allies plus percentage of max health and applies regeneration. Regeneration is a really powerful effect, and I think if the more your focus is, the more it's going to work. And Triash, on turn, if the ally with the least health has less than 100% health, there's a chance to heal them for a certain amount per turn. So I imagine this is every turn that Night Nurse comes out, but really good healer, probably the best hero healer. Next up on the list is, in one of my opinions, one of the better damage dealers, and that is Daredevil. Now, you cannot get him outside of the Arena store until you actually get 8-9 Nexus, and I highly recommend getting Quake first, but you can get him out of basic orbs and you can get him out of premium orbs as well. The Strike Without Fear has a chance to do multiple hits, and I find this can do a lot of damage, so there's no reason not to actually upgrade it to level 4 so you have a higher chance to get a bonus attack, which is really good. So Throwing Baton is also damage. I really don't like this ability too much, and the chance to chain seems really low. This ability just seems garbage instead of Strike Without Fear. The only reason that you would use Strike Baton or Throw Baton is when you're trying to get through a taunt, and Brawl is really good because it does a lot of damage and you start with it at the beginning of the map, so you can do a lot of damage to somebody right away. It also has a chance to chain up to 4 additional targets when it's upgraded, and it's a nice boost to primary damage. That's a definite good one to upgrade. And Defender allies gain 5% speed, so characters like Luke Cage I think would gain that buff, and being able to get 5% dodge is actually really powerful, so definitely a good support character. Now a character I will be getting in a couple days is Quake. Quake is from the Arena store. You can also get it from premium orbs, and Quake is just a ridiculous character because you can do the area of effect or damage and you can apply slow, which is pretty useful. Shockwave attacks the primary target and clears a positive effect, so you can use this kind of like Elektra gets rid of buffs. And getting rid of buffs is premium, especially if you're trying to get through a Captain America to take out a Crossbones. And it also has the chance to chain other targets and clear a positive effect. While it doesn't do a lot of damage off the bat, I haven't really tested this. And Earthquake is a lot of damage, but what's also super useful about this is that it applies offense down on enemies, and when you upgrade it, it affects more people, and you gain extra focus, and shield allies gain more damage. So characters that are of shield will actually gain more benefit from that. So next up on the list is Gamora. Well, I haven't really focused on Gamora too much. I do have her gear tier up to 4 and level to 20. And you always want to try to get people up to level 20 with gear tier 4 just so you can farm in Blitz. And obviously unlocking your roster is really important. Now the Assassin Strike is just like with Daredevil. You attack for damage, and then you have a chance to get a bonus attack for more damage. Even though that attack is a little bit less, but you do gain a decent upgrade from level 3, and I imagine level 4 is even higher than that. So Ruthless Blade also attacks the primary target, and a chance to chain extra targets, and when you kill somebody, you're basically free to attack again. So Gamora can get out of control really quick with a lot of extra attacks. And Flying Slash is basically a single target ridiculous damage ability, so this is what you would use to basically finish somebody off. And then you would then go into Ruthless Blade, but you can even go Ruthless Blade into Flying Slash on whoever else you're hitting. And Deadly Methods gives you crit chance, and also at rank 2, you could then give crit chances to characters like Drax, which is really good, as every character has different properties. So obviously Black Widow is not on the list because you can't farm her. Obviously Black Widow is a really good character because she can attack the primary target, and if she's stealth, she has a chance to copy all positive effects on primary targets. So if you're stealth with Black Widow and you're going up against a Captain America, you're going to gain taunt and defense up. Sometimes you might want that. Sometimes you might want the regen effects. So this can be really powerful. So the thing about Black Widow is that she can gain stealth for multiple turns and clear all negative effects. And you also have a chance to gain speed up on self, which means you're more likely to sabotage somebody. And the Widow's Bite, attack primary target for damage and apply stun. So it's kind of like the Spider-Man effect, and a chance to chain up to 2 adjacent targets for damage and apply bleed. Bleed can be really good because it can finish somebody off, especially through taunts, and Saboteur gives you more speed. Now, I don't know what it does at higher levels because I don't have Black Widow, but it's definitely somebody that I would recommend. So the 9th character I also recommend on the list is Spider-Man. Spider-Man you cannot get outside of Premium Orbs, Basic Orbs, and Blitz. But obviously, as you guys know, the monthly daily reward is for Spider-Man, so everybody should get 2 to 3 star Spider-Man quite easily. So the Agile attack attacks a primary target and a chance to chain adjacent targets for a little bit of damage. You also get a 30% chance to gain evade. The Web Slinger attacks the primary target for damage and chain up to 2 adjacent targets, and a chance to apply defense down to each target. Defense down is really powerful because you're going to do 50% more damage. This is great for taking out crossbones early on. It's really good for taking out high damage targets like Punisher. Just really good. Tangled Web is kind of like the finisher for Spider-Man, and upgrading it will give you more damage. And stunning the primary target is really good. The Spidey Sense basically just gives you more dodge chance, which is really powerful because if you can avoid attacks, it's the difference between winning and losing fights. And I've actually had battles where Spider-Man just wins the game by himself. And finally, number 10 is Jessica Jones. While Jessica Jones isn't a super damage dealer, she is great for giving ability energy. So she definitely fills the utility role, and her special 3 can also debuff and get rid of buffs. So you can get her from Villains United 2.9. You can also get her at Nexus 4.9, Basic Orbs, and Premium Orbs. So her Jawbreaker, attack the target for damage, and you have a chance to bonus attack for a little bit of damage. So it's kind of like Crossbones and Daredevil, how you can get extra attacks. And you also get a chance to gain ability energy on each attack. So you would be able to fuel off, shake it off a little bit quicker. So you can clear negative effect from self, clear negative effect from allies, and generate 1 ability energy to 2 random allies. And basically, generating ability energy is the epitome of utility, because if it means your healer can heal 1 turn quicker, if it means Crossbones can blast people, if it means Yondu can pierce everybody a turn quicker, that's super strong. And the Rejection has a chance to clear multiple positive effects from a target. So for example, Captain America with taunt and defense up, you can clear both of them, assuming they don't dodge out of the way. Finally, the Denial is extra resistance to city allies, and it also gives extra resistance to all allies. Resistance basically means that you're not going to get debuffed as easily. So if you're facing a Quake, a Jessica Jones could be really useful about that. And number 11, not on the list, character that I think is actually pretty useful. This is my opinion, of course. And it's twofold because you also need this character to get Iron Man, is the S.H.I.E.L.D. Operative. Why do I think the S.H.I.E.L.D. Operative is actually pretty good? You can get her from 4-3 Heroes Assemble. You can also get her out of Basic Orbs and Premium Orbs. But the Extraction, in my opinion, is a really powerful utility ability, especially if you have a way to generate speed and get a lot of attacks in, because this applies stealth to the lowest health ally for 1 turn. You can also heal them for 5% of this character's max health, plus then you heal them for 500 health once you upgrade it, and you apply 2 regenerations for 1 turn. So this is basically a really powerful heal. This is a character I definitely want to get up, and the Snapshot also applies slow and a chance to clear positive effects from target, kind of like Yondu. So if I had any character I would definitely focus on, it would definitely be the S.H.I.E.L.D. Operative. You could also use the Medic. Hawkeye and Quake you also need in order to get Iron Man. Obviously, if you can farm for Black Widow and if you have Captain America, I would definitely be getting those up. You also have the SHIELD security, which you can also farm up, but that's not as big of a deal, and it's only one node for that. But yeah, those are my top 10 heroes. If you guys want me to make ones for villains, if you guys want me to make one for blasters, which I feel is really important because there is one challenge that requires blasters. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think about this video, and I hope to see you guys soon. Have a wonderful day, kids.
www.youtube.com/HollywoodShono. Subscribe, bitches!